I'm on a journey to get better, and I want to do it with you. And I'm not just focusing on physical health, I'm focusing on everything: emotional wellness, spirituality, finances, relationships, and so much more. Every week, it will be my personal goal to bring us, the world's leading healers, experts, and game changers, to share groundbreaking secrets and tips to getting better in all areas of life. Getting better isn't easy, but it's a whole lot easier when we can do it together. Welcome to Better Together with me, Maria Menounos.
Hello, everybody. It is Monday, April 20th, 2020. Stephen in the booth, Jeff in the office. Jeff, how many days have we been in quarantine now?
Okay, so I think the order happened right before my birthday, which is St. Patty's, so like March 14th. I should have an exact count, but that's probably between 35 and 40 days.
Yeah, I think someone said 40 days today.
Yeah, I think it was March 14th, so it should be 40 days today.
Yeah. I'm currently wearing jeans. This is a big deal for me. My sweat game has been my only game. And it was funny because I saw someone yesterday and they said, or like a post on, I don't see people. That's a crazy thing. What am I talking about? But I saw a post or something where it's like, if you're wearing jeans, what are you trying to prove? I thought that was hilarious. Like, for those of you wearing jeans, what are you trying to prove?
Like during quarantine, they mean?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's funny because they're not as comfortable, clearly. Like, they're the most comfortable for, like, the outside world, like, when you have to kind of give a shit. But
You don't like jeans in the house? I like jeans.
Ew.
I haven't worn jeans since you and Kevin were like, hey, you can't wear jeans. And I was like, that's the last time I wore it. Like,
jeans.
no, but I mean, like, when I'm not working, like, I should be putting on, like, business casual, not jeans.
When you are working, you should be business
but I'm
casual,
never not
yeah.
working, so, like...
Well, this is true.
So I can't wear jeans.
You can wear jeans. You could wear jeans with, like, a nice button down.
So I could wear jeans to bed.
Steven, if you started wearing button downs, your girl game would go up big time.
I had a bunch of button downs. I bought a bunch.
I know.
And then I gained some weight and couldn't wear them anymore. Or they shrunk in the wash.
Well,
One of the two.
I think it's maybe a little bit of both.
Ouch, Maria. Ouch.
What if we did like a makeover session with Steven on the show?
I know, we should actually. That'd be so good.
Not that you needed Steven, but like style and fashion. I know, I just heard
Thank
it.
you, Jeff.
I was like, was that aggressive? More what I meant is it would be really fun. It's like the Style Your Producer segment, and we could get a fashion person who's looking to push their new line and do 3 looks with Steven.
I like it.
That's great. I can wax my beard.
We got to up your executive game, Steven.
Okay.
I think if we up your executive game, it's going to up your like life game and girl game. It's going to be awesome.
Got it. Coronavirus really killed the girl game.
I mean, it killed everyone's game, period.
Yeah. All previous games, the Monopoly board was flipped over when it comes to the game with coronavirus.
Bananas, it really is. But I'm glad that my jeans fit. So I'm really grateful for that. And
Well, Litsa and Costas blessed you with good genes.
Ba-dum-bum. Where's the sound drop for that? Speaking of Litsa and Costa, we had Easter. Last week was Holy Week. So Greek Easter was on Sunday. And we celebrated with church masses at home, which I really think I could get used to. Although I do really love going to church. It makes me feel so good inside. There was something about not having to get dressed. Getting dressed for church is my like least favorite thing in the world, because you gotta kind of like dress well, but like you want to be comfortable because you're standing for so long. And so it's really hard to have standing good attire as a girl because most things require heels. And so it's a very frustrating thing to deal with. And then Greek Easter on like midnight mass, you have to get there so early, like 90 minutes before any action, just to get a parking spot at any church because it's so crowded. And that's just like for like a 10-minute service basically, right? And so on Saturday night, we did the East Coast feed because I knew my mom, this is such a great excuse, but I knew my mom wouldn't be able to stay up longer for like midnight mass. So she, and she was actually getting really tired at like 8 o'clock. I'm like, Mom, you got to hang on another like 50 minutes and we're in it, like we're, making the lights go down. So at Easter Mass, they shut off all the lights in the church at some point and it goes pitch black. And, they introduce the light and that's, representative of, the resurrection and the whole thing. And it's a really beautiful Mass. And even Kevin loves it. And he really dislikes going to church other than to like just go on his own and pray. But to actually stand through a service, Kevin would rather like hang himself by his like eyelids. So I told him, I'm like, just come down at 8:58. The light happens at 9. So I like shut all the lights down in the house and I had one candle, like the actual Greek Easter Mass candles from last year. So we lit the candle and we did our, Christ is risen song. And then we did a Zoom Easter call with the whole family on the East Coast. Well, not the whole family, but a bunch of my aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff. And that was really fun. It was a different kind of Easter, but we made the most of it.
You gotta. We adapt.
Yeah.
We overcome.
The best is I started hosting because I realized like with Zoom, it's like if you have a lot of people, it's really hard to have, true conversation. And I could tell my parents were getting tired and I was like, wait, this is supposed to be fun. So I was like, okay, guys, sorry, but I'm going to jump in here as the unpaid host of this Zoom. And so I started like directing questions to different families in different cities. And so I was like, all right, we're going to go to the Daigle family in Winchester, Massachusetts. And we're going to go to the, Menounos family in Brooklyn, Connecticut. And like started doing that. And I was asking everyone what they were going to do, like their first thing they're going to do when quarantine is over. And so my cousin Peter was like, I'm eating Chinese food. I'm like desperate for Chinese food. And my younger cousins are like, we just want to see our friends. My older cousin, by like a year, but I meant like little to the, her girls to her. My other cousin, Nikki, was like, is it weird that I really like quarantine? And I was like, no, I really like it too.
Laura's loving it. There are elements that we're going to take out of this. I mean, like even the Zoom hangout, I feel like I'm talking to my family and some of my friends from Ohio more than I ever would be because of quarantine.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So I think, we did a Zoom murder mystery party with my family this weekend.
What?
And it was like the best.
What's
we'll have
that?
to do with the AfterBuzz staff. It was so much fun, Maria. I should send you a photo, but it was an 80s prom theme. And of course, my producer/wife, Laura, put it together because, she's a late night producer. She's so good at like event planning and this kind of stuff. But she put together an 80s themed murder mystery party where we were all attending a prom. So we all dressed up in 80s prom themed stuff. We all had characters. And during the call, my brother-in-law got murdered because he was the victim for the murder mystery. So we blacked out his screen and brought him back. And it was like a whole thing. It was so much fun.
And you guys have to figure out who murdered him?
Yeah. Have you ever done a murder mystery party before?
Never. This sounds so fun.
It's so up your alley. It's like earnest fun. Like, it's just in person, the way you would do it is you all dress up as a certain character. You find out in advance and you're having conversations round by round to try to figure out, because you're learning information as you go. You have the character packet. And then you all have to figure out who the murderer is.
But everybody has to be a good actor, right? Because I would figure it out in 2 seconds. I could read all of you, like anybody. I would be like, oh God, I know who did it.
Well, the way this one worked, which was great, was no one knew until the third round. So even if you were the murderer, you didn't find out until near the end.
Got it.
So even the bad actors could get away with it.
Okay. That's interesting.
It was really fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We can put it in the resources. I'll put it in the resources. Like if it's a specifically murder mystery designed for Zoom, so I'll put it in the resources.
How fun is that? Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to do when quarantine is over?
Steven, you first.
Jeff just like dodged the question and went right to Steven. Okay, Steven. Is it going to revolve around food?
No.
Oh, you're going to have sex. Duh.
I don't know.
Is that what you were trying to say? I'm not putting words in your mouth. You just looked at me with that look like, no, it's not going to be food.
I'm going to probably go to like Solvang or something.
Go where?
Go to Solvang outside.
What's that?
It's this little Danish town outside of LA near Santa Barbara.
Oh, I was like, wait, you're going where?
No. I'm going to go visit my brother who is out in Ventura and probably just go have like a really nice weekend with my nieces and nephews and then hopefully go to the beach and then hit up Solvang and get like wine tastings and just like probably try to just separate for a while,
I like that.
right? Maybe a day or two of just
Okay.
like out,
I think
and
my
then have sex.
and then have sex. Okay, I think my first thing is going to be sushi. I do miss sushi. I don't know why it hasn't been that bad for me, but because I normally can't live without it for like a couple of days. But I think it's going to be sushi, and then it's going to be probably a trip back east. We were talking as a family when we were younger. Our parents used to take us to this place in New Hampshire where there was a big waterfall and there was like a little campground. It was private. Like you couldn't have multiple families there. It was really like you took it and then it was your area. And we would go with our entire family, right? I mean, we have so many cousins and so many relatives. And we would, cook out and barbecue and play and swim. And it was so much fun. And so my cousin recently went back there and she sent pictures back. She's like, "Do you remember this place?" And I mean, it's been like 30 years probably. And because we were really young. And so we decided that we were going to do a reunion and go back, which is really cool. And I'm like, why haven't we thought about this since? Life just gets so busy, you forget. So I think that'll be kind of the first thing. And,
Are you still not eating any takeout food or anything like that
Nope.
then? Got it.
No. The only thing I have had, oh my God. Okay, so do you guys know who Melina Kanakridis is? She was the star of CSI, I think, New York, and she's done a ton of television. She's, very well-known actress, and she's Greek. And her and her husband, Peter, are like the nicest humans you'll ever meet in your life. So the other day she texted me, she's like, "I'm coming right by your house. I want to drop something off." And I said, "Oh my God, of course." So she pops out of her car with the mask and the gloves, and she hands over this like cellophane wrapped, gift. And it's chocolate from her family's chocolate, company. I think it's in Ohio. And she made homemade kouroubiedes, which are the Greek butter sugar cookies. They have like the powdered sugar on top. And so they're my favorite. I love how she makes them. And every year we spend Easter together. And so this would be the first year we're not going to be with them. So she dropped it off. And I went into the kitchen and I went to town. And by the time she was gone, maybe an hour, I had texted her and I'm like, halfway done.
Oh my God.
Guys, I am a monster. I ate all of them in 24 hours, like 20 buttered, sugared cookies. When I say they're all butter, they are all butter and all powdered sugar.
Delicious.
Kevin had one and I ate them like a monster. Yeah, it was
I did the same thing.
I had
Laura
a bad eating weekend.
Laura made some chocolate chip cookies for us for Easter. It's kind of neat. My aunt, actually, we lost her last year, but this is her recipe. So it's like we pay tribute to her by making her cookies every year. And I think it's the same. I think we only had 16, so I'll give myself that. But they were gone within the day.
Murdered monster. The
So
other
good.
thing I wanted to mention, I was talking about this in the Insta Live before the show, and then we'll get to our interview. By the way, we have Kyle Richards on the show today. Haha, just bury the lead. Kyle Richards from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is going to be joining us to chat. But I watched the show Too Hot to Handle on Netflix with Kevin, even though he was working on his computer 95% of the time. I really love the show. I think it's so good. I think it's like the best of all of these shows all together. So the twist is they bring in all these like super hot, males and females, and then they get there and they're all ready to like jump each other's bones. And it's like, the only trick is you can't have sex. And there's a pot of $100,000. So every time someone cheats and they kiss or do anything, they get docked. And that's the money just keeps going down. So Jeff, you were saying that you and your wife watched, right?
We watched the first one and we liked it. And I like Netflix reality shows. We love Love is Blind. We like The Circle. But it's funny, you sort of talk about how however you grew up or wherever you're from, sometimes you can't really like cook that part of who you are out of you. And I just feel like I could hear like my parents and like the youth group I grew up in being like, this type of content isn't good for your soul. So we watched the first one and then we bailed. But did it get pretty good?
Oh my God, it's so good. Well, because they have transformations. It's actually really good. I love it. Steven, have you seen it yet?
I've produced the after show, so I've heard about it, and I know of a lot of things that happened in it.
Did our hosts love it?
The first episode, they're like, wow, these people are the perfect type of dumb. They're the perfect type of dumb to be doing this stuff. Like they're all so open about it. Like, okay, so when I win this prize money, I'm gonna get a nose job and then I'm gonna pay off my debt.
Yeah.
It's like priorities. Great, you're good.
Yeah.
You got it going. But the interesting thing I thought about it was that it's not each person has $100,000 that the money comes down from. It's that if one person goes and makes out with somebody, the prize money for everyone goes down.
Yeah, you screw everybody.
It's so bad.
I thought it was so good. I really I loved it. Kevin and I had so much fun.
I might go back and watch it. You're convincing me, Maria.
No, it's so good. It's so good. I love those shows. Anyhow, yeah, really fun. So if you are looking for some content, Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. I'm going to start watching The Last Dance tonight, hopefully, if I can keep my eyeballs open. But anyhow, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. We're so grateful to have you be a part of our fam, our community. If you haven't joined us on Patreon and you would like to, we're going to add the link to the summary. You can join us over there. I know a lot of people are migrating over because there's a lot more we can do in the Patreon. Our hands aren't tied with some of the YouTube rules. So we would be grateful for you to join at any level. And also, if you could do us a kindness and share the show with people you know that would love it, that need the uplifting, it would be really great. Word of mouth is very much needed and appreciated. So share it, comment, subscribe, let us know how we're doing. We are going to be chatting with Kyle Richards. She is an American actress, a producer, TV personality, philanthropist, best-selling author, who, of course, you know from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And her new fashion line, Kyle by Shahida, is something she's working on right now. We're going to chat with her about, as well as life in quarantine and so much more. Here is Miss Kyle Richards. Hi.
Hi, am I here?
You look stunning.
Oh, thank you. I made, the bar is very low these days. So.
No, wait. So, did you do your own hair and makeup?
Yes. Are you kidding me? I'm like, yes. Well, first of all, I almost always do my own makeup. Always.
You do?
Always. Except if I have a big event, and for my interviews, the confessionals for the Housewives, I have someone because they have to keep it consistent. I have no idea what I do every time. And my hair is like the same hair I've had since, Little House on the Prairie days. So it just keeps it easy.
I love it. Yeah. You look incredible. You look like somebody did you. So kudos to you.
I don't know if I could ever wear lashes ever again.
Why?
Or heels. I just can't, after this quarantine, I just don't think I can go back to that.
Well, the heels thing I had abandoned years ago now. But I was thinking, I don't know if I'll ever be able to leave my Adidas slippers, like my flip-flops. They're not flip-flops. They're the wide, slide-ons.
I UGG slippers every day, and that's it. And when I'm dressed up, I have just this. This is the extent.
Wait, look at what I put on today. You're going to die. I put on my gold ones.
Oh, that is so funny.
The best is I can't wear them. I can't wear them in public because my shepherd ate the front of them, but I was like, you know what?
I showed you the left instead of the right because I have a little dog chewing too. What's funny is today, my husband was in the closet and he put on a baseball cap and a t-shirt, and I said, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "That's really sad that you think a baseball cap and a t-shirt means I'm getting ready to go somewhere." And it was a Zoom meeting, but I was like, why are you getting all dressed up?
It's so funny. So, okay. You just mentioned your husband. You're with him 24/7 now. Are you guys discovering new things about each other?
Well, after 25 years, not really, no.
Okay. Are you guys happier being together this much, or are you looking forward to being apart and missing each other more?
No, we're actually doing really well, I have to say, considering I see all the jokes and memes and stuff. The only thing is he goes into the office and he's in there all day. and he'll come out for a little bit. So I don't see him. Obviously he gets home earlier from the office downstairs than driving from the office. But only thing is when he comes out of the office, he's got the things in his ears and he talks really loud.
Yep.
And I'm like, can you not come into my space and talk that loud with your deep voice? But other than that, we're actually good.
I love it. Yeah, Kevin's locked up in his office as well, working around the clock. I could literally walk around naked, or like I could be having sex with somebody in front of him and he wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Totally zoned out. All those like videos and memes of people trying to get, actually Lisa Rinna was doing this with her husband. She's like, yeah, trying to get his attention. I'm like, that's me. An elephant could walk into the room. He wouldn't know.
It's just funny, like, we're doing different things. Like, we've been doing TikTok. We usually do TikTok on Thursdays with our kids. I don't know why Thursdays, it just became a thing because it takes me so long to learn them and they get so annoyed with me. So they're like, so on Thursday, try to get the moves down. I'm like, and then of course Thursday comes and I haven't even looked at the thing. So I'm the worst. Last night I made him do a TikTok with me. I was so exasperated. I was like, I can't with you. All you needed was lip sync. And he was like, I couldn't do it, but we still posted it anyway.
So fun. How has it been having the whole family together?
That part I have to tell you really is a silver lining in all of this because, of course, Portia, she's the youngest and we still have, her living at home for many years. But, the older kids, this is like, borrowed time really because having them with us 24/7, it's really probably not going to happen again, and they're so busy and, two of them work at my husband's company, the agency, and Sophia's normally in college in DC, and just having everyone together all the time is much like our summer vacation trip, which usually is about, 10 days to 2 weeks. So now they're with us, we're 24/7, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We usually breakfast is, coming and going, but lunch and dinner, I try to make like a really nice thing and cook and set the table. So it's been nice.
It's so cool. Speaking of working with your husband, what is the real estate market like right now? I've been curious and I haven't asked anybody.
Well, I mean, you would have to ask him actually, but I know that he's busy nonstop on the phone in there. I think it was, like every business, it was like trying to figure this all out in the beginning. And there was deals that were already in escrow that you're able to close. And then there was a period where you couldn't show any properties, but now you can show property that is vacant. So it's just sort of navigating. But before all this happened, the market was really strong. I mean, I know in our neighborhood, the numbers have gone, really, really up from when I moved into the neighborhood. I looked at the numbers and seen what's out in the market now, what's coming up. The numbers are really climbing and growing, which makes me feel good for our purchase.
Yeah. I know. Remember I told you don't move?
I know. I almost did, but I'm very, very grateful I did not.
Wait, did the Jonas Brothers really move into our neighborhood?
I'm dying laughing that you just said that. You just said the Jonas Brothers, and Portia says to me, Mom, they didn't all move into one house. It's one brother.
Yeah, but I heard both of them live in our area.
Oh, well, that's true. But I keep saying the Jonas Brothers moved in, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Mom, we're not all living under one roof. But yes, we are our neighbors.
Okay. Okay, cool. Just maybe I'll have to bring them some apple pie or something someday.
And so did Selena Gomez, by the way.
She is?
Very close to you.
She's back? Wow. Because she used to live here with her family. Oh, that's so interesting.
Well, I saw online and there was like something, I don't know. But anyway, so yes. So.
Yeah. We need to do a neighborhood show. Like it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a crazy day in the neighborhood because, we had that guy breaking into houses last week and, I've got, the neighborhood watch like up in arms and stuff. And so there's a lot of action.
The thing is, it's like that everywhere, unfortunately, since that one bill was passed that if it was a nonviolent offender, then you didn't get, serve as much time, blah, blah, blah. So that's when the crime shot up everywhere all over Los Angeles. But when that bill comes up again, we have to be really vocal.
Totally.
Out there and being like, no.
Well,
that's not going to work.
How about the fact that they're allowing criminals out of prisons now? we're screwed anyway. It's like,
I know. Well, I mean, that's actually really scary. I try not to focus on the negativity and in the beginning I could only watch the news 24/7. I was obsessed. But now I'm like, okay, I've got to like chill out a little bit and see the the light at the end of the tunnel. Otherwise you'll make yourself crazy.
totally. No, I'm the same way. I was watching all the time, and now I'm not watching as much. But are you worried because quarantine is going to end at some point, right? I mean,
Yes.
California, I think, is going to hang on longer than other states, obviously. Like you see what's going on with, liberate this state, liberate that state, and the protests and whatever. I think like our governor is going to be a bit more conservative with the reopening. But do you feel like life is going to go back to normal in any way anytime soon?
I think it's going to be a new normal. I don't think that it's going to be like it was for a very long time. Honestly, I mean, when I was talking, I talk about this a lot with my husband and my friends, and I'm thinking like, do you miss going to restaurants? Do you miss like what is it that you miss most? Like you're finding that you can do without a lot of things, and that this is our new life, and I'm enjoying like cooking at home, and I'm not I'm not ready to run out and go and eat in a restaurant yet. I'm happy with picking up and supporting the restaurants that I love and all that, but I'm just I'm a little nervous right now, and I think that people are going to be for a while, and I don't think people are going to be shaking hands like they did before. I
Yeah.
think I'm good with like just nice to meet you, or nice to meet you. I think that people are going to be really scared and skeptical for a long time. I think it's with good reason because we don't want a setback. I
Yeah.
think about, I'm so excited. Portia's starting 7th grade. She's starting a new school. We're so excited. I literally have dreams about it every night. What if she can't start? What if she can't start? So I know I'm trying to do my part here with our family so that we don't have a setback.
Yeah. I wonder, like, will you be sending her to school with gloves and masks on, like, no matter what?
I hope to God not. Um, I think if it's that point, that they probably won't reopen. I think we'll reopen, when it's safe enough, and maybe they're going to have, the seats sitting farther apart, like they're planning the restaurants. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I, as a mom, I feel bad because my kids, like Sophia, was having the best college experience and in such a beautiful city in DC, and to have all that come to a screeching halt. Like obviously, there's a lot bigger problems out there, but as a mom, I'm thinking of my kids and how their lives are affected by this, and it's just sad all around. We have so many friends who've lost their jobs, and a lot of friends will lose their businesses. It's very sad.
Yeah. Anybody close to you get coronavirus?
Um, I know a number of people that got coronavirus, and a number of them were at an event that I was at. So I started self quarantining before, like so long ago. This is where the anxiety and paranoia comes in handy. I haven't been anywhere other than my home in 6 weeks, and I haven't driven a car in 6 weeks. I made one little venture out to do Easter Bunny duties, and I was at CVS,
Yep.
gloves, mask, hat, glasses, because I want to protect my eyes as well, and then the wipes on top of with the gloves and the card. It was like it's too stressful for me. I really can't handle it right
Wow. Yeah. I wonder, I feel like when they lift everything, I'm still going to keep my parents here in quarantine as much as they want to go back home to Connecticut. I'm going to keep them here for at least a month and see if things regress. This way they're with me. And then I'm going to make them, if they go out, wear mask and gloves probably for an extended period of time just to be safe.
Right. It's so crazy when you watch, my husband is a very like, chill, relaxed person. And one day I said to him, can we go just for a drive? Literally just a drive. Like I need to like, see the sky and, open the roof on the car, the sunroof, whatever. And he's like, it gives me so much anxiety to see the people out with the masks and the businesses all closed up and the streets empty. I really, I can't even take it.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty depressing.
it really is. It's just scary. trying to like stay the best thing we can do, as we all know, is to stay home and to flatten the curve. And while we're doing that, it gives me less anxiety because I suffer from anxiety. So, hey, it's a win-win for me. I can keep away from having my anxiety flare up and do my part in flattening the curve.
I wonder, even so many things that we've, like you said, have gotten used to now, how many of them are going to keep, right? Like, I really have gotten used to cooking at home, and I'm really enjoying not rushing around and trying to figure out where I'm going to eat and what I'm going to eat and all of that. Even like my nails. I know this sounds so stupid, but I hated the nail experience. And now I'm like, these are almost grown out, these gels I still have on. And I'll have fresh nails that have not been torn down to pieces. And I'm really excited to maybe not have to go to the nail salon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think people are going to start saying, like, I don't need this in my life. And I think people are going to be really scaling everything back a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I feel the same way. And I think everything is going to change. Everything is going to change. I'm also loving cooking. I'm loving that, my daughters are helping me, and my eldest daughter, who was not really the type that liked to cook, she's like, okay, mom, I'm like, you're old enough now. You really should be cooking. And she's like learning. And, Alexia, my 23-year-old, she's loving helping me. We do theme nights and stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, a slower pace too, because I honestly, was burning the candle at both ends. And so was my husband. So I could do with a little mellower pace in my life.
Yeah. Well, you're producing so many shows, you're acting, you're doing so much. How do you see the entertainment business changing?
Well, I always think about that, obviously, but I think people need that more than ever right now. The question is, how are we going to make it? So, I have a movie coming out in October that I shot while I was shooting The Real Housewives this season. It's Halloween Kills, which is part of the Halloween franchise. So when I think about then, I was like, flying to New York and flying to North Carolina and back to LA, boop, 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 this crazy pace. I don't know how we, going forward, how they're going to be shooting things. I don't understand how that's going to work. We would be, when The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ends, we normally start shooting right away. So I don't know. I mean, by then I'm hoping that things will be lifted and we can, be together and join in trips and stuff again. So I guess time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting to think how that will change and shift and such. I feel like there are going to be a lot of changes, but because it doesn't feel like it's going to be that easy to get right back in.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, by that time, I think what's going to happen is that as soon as there is like an opening, people are going to be rushing. They're going to probably push production up on things so they can like get it in the can because they're worried it may come back in the fall. So I think you're going to see a lot of that. But I mean, I do know that people now more than ever, I'm not normally a television watcher. I'm on television, I produce television, but I don't necessarily watch. I like to read more, but now I'm doing both. I'm reading, I'm watching TV shows, and I'm getting like the whole, these couples who like to have a show together. I have a show with my husband. I have a show with one daughter. I have a show with another daughter.
Okay, tell me. I need to know. What's the show with Maurizio and what's the shows with the kids?
Okay, the show with Maurizio is the Hunters on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
We were doing that, and then what was the other one after that? Then Little Fires Everywhere. That's what it is. That's with Sophia. And I'm watching Gilmore Girls with Portia, going back old school, Gilmore Girls with Portia. And then with Alexia, she's like a movie person. So we've been watching, different movies and stuff. So it's just funny. And then we do, of course, group ones of the whole family. But my husband always gets, he's the only man in the house. So he's like, can we please watch? We're like, no, no, we don't want that.
He gets outvoted. What are you reading?
Right now I am reading the Lost Girls. No, is that the wrong word? I forgot. It's next to my bed right now. I'm the worst at remembering these things. I just
Is that the
finished.
Elizabeth Gilbert, the
That's City of Girls.
City of Girls? Oh, okay, yeah.
No, this one is a story about a bunch of girls in an all-girls school, and there's like it's supposed to be haunted, and there's a murder, and the Forgotten Girls, something like that. I have to look
Got
at
it. Sounds like something you'll be optioning and making a movie
And
out
then
of.
I just read another one that I like posted on Instagram, and people were like, it became like an informal girls Kyle's book club, so it's kind of been fun doing that. So
That's cool. Are you staying in touch with your celeb friends during this time?
my celeb friends, I mean, my friends. Yes, I'm staying in touch with my friends. The Housewives, I keep in touch with the ones that are in speaking terms.
Yep.
And we check in pretty much daily. And let's see, our good friend Kris Jenner, texting with her, and we're like, I miss you. Can we do a social distancing visit? A drive-by. What are we gonna do?
Seriously, I know. It's like, can we just all sit 6 feet apart on a grassy knoll and just like say hello to each other in like person?
I know. And then you sit there and you wonder, like, how paranoid do we need to be? I mean, because I'm already paranoid. So
I know. I know. I think it's going to be interesting. It really is. Speaking of the Housewives, the teases this season seem like they're focused so much on Denise Richards, but I know there's more that we're not seeing. So what else can we expect?
I mean, it's just a very rocky season. I never like it when people start talking and there's discord, but that's part of the deal when you do something like this. And when you're on a reality show, especially the Housewives, we're not scripted. It's not set up. So, if there's something out there in your life you don't want talked about, it's going to be talked about. And that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So there's always going to be someone upset. And, the stuff with Denise and all the drama and all that, people are focused on the whole rumor situation that happened between Denise and Brandy Glanville, but it was more about between the women and Denise that there was something going on. So, she stopped shooting with us for a while, and I think you see in the preview. I think I'm actually wearing this in that preview. This is from my live, and I'm wearing it in the preview where she storms off and you see the cameras. And whenever you see the cameras and the audio guys and all that, there's drama, because we never like to break the fourth wall, which is acknowledging that we're on a TV show with cameras there.
Yeah. So wait, so I saw that, I think in Perez Hilton, that Brandy was confirming their relationship. Have you heard whether this is real or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, I heard what I was told on camera, and that plays out on the show. So I guess I have to let the viewer make their decision on what they believe or not.
Interesting. Interesting. You've also clarified on the record about the whole bravo, bravo, bravo technique.
Yeah.
Were there any times in the history of the show that you used this to avoid airing something that you're now willing to share with us?
No. So it came up. The reason, when she said that, I was actually really taken aback, because she's a new housewife to the show. And after 10 years of being on the show, I was like, that's interesting, because season 1 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, this is 10 years ago, whenever the cameras would like go down to change their disc, all the girls would run to put powder. Like, we cared like more than we probably do now. And we'd run and touch up our lip gloss. And when the cameras would go back up, we didn't want to get caught on camera touching up our lip gloss. So we'd be like, wait, bravo, 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 Andy Cohen, hi, Andy Cohen, and then we'd stop. And it was just our little inside silly joke, but we never said it or used it to get out of something, because trust me, if they would use it just like they did.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
I figured, well, that worked for the lip gloss. She tweeted something like that I had told her that, but I never had that conversation with Denise. And Lisa Rinna said, I think I did tell her that, because she had maybe heard about touching up the makeup season 1.
Interesting. Yeah. The other thing, I had Dorinda on, I think it was like a week ago, when we were talking about who she stays in touch with. And she said that her and Bethany talk a lot. Who are you keeping in touch with? And who are you not keeping in touch with?
Well, I'm very close with Lisa Rinna, Erica, Dorit, and Teddy. I've gotten to be close with Sutton, the new lady on the show. She's actually not holding a diamond, but to me, she's a housewife because she's in it a lot. And, anyway, so when all that sort of happened with Denise, there was a big argument that happened. So we really haven't been talking. And then Garcelle, who I had no issue with all season, she went on Watch What Happens Live and said not nice things about me. So I always kind of am skeptical when someone is nice to you and then goes and says something else, because if I have an issue with someone, I would say it, because that's what our job is on this show, is to be honest and, speak your opinion. And so whenever someone is one way to my face and another way in an interview, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I know what I'm dealing with now. So I'm basically close with that group of women. Although I have to say, when all this happened, with COVID-19 and the quarantine and everything, everybody, I was feeling at a loss. So I'm fixing my computer here. But what can we do to help? And I'm hearing all these stories that no one has masks, and I'm seeing these people on the front line, healthcare workers out there risking their lives, and they don't have masks and they don't have scrubs. So my partner Shahida, my clothing line, Kyle and Shahida, was able to help me purchase 8,000 N95 masks. So my husband and I donated part of them to New York City hospitals that were most in need. Andy Cohen actually helped me get in touch with Governor Cuomo's office to donate those. And then I reached out in a group text to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, all of them, even the ones that we're not talking to. And I just said, would you like to, as a group, as a cast together, come together and donate 5,000 masks to the hospitals most in need in Los Angeles? And immediately they all responded, yes, 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 great idea. And so that at least makes me feel good that we can do something like that, because there's a lot of craziness that's going to happen this season and a lot of fighting, and something like that just makes me feel better that we can at least come together as a cast.
That's so great. I love that you guys came together, especially despite everything, because everything's already shot and in the can and the feelings are hurt and whatever.
Oh yeah, but trust me, we won't be talking by the reunion.
What'd you say?
We won't be talking by the reunion. Because already, with Dorit, I'm very close with her. And so we said, listen, you guys, I have said things and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing, like the first episode, she's like, does Kyle think she can just slap her name on something and, it's going to be successful? Well, no, I didn't just slap my name. I'm like, why would she say that? She has no idea what I've been working on for a year before that episode. They don't show us, taking showers or brushing our teeth, but guess what? We do that. So it really bugged me that I worked so hard with Shahida on this clothing line, and for her to make a comment like that, it was just frustrating. And I know there's going to be a lot of that throughout the season. And I'm just like, if you have to have a really thick skin with the Housewives, I'm just tell you, because that's just a silly thing, but it can really get brutal, let me tell you.
Where do you think that mentality comes from? Because it's not like she doesn't know that work goes into all of this.
I don't know. She's just being shady, like they think, or I don't really know. But all I know is that there's a lot of things I could say that I don't. If I have an issue with someone, I will say that to their face. I will deal with the issue. But I don't know. That didn't really sit well with me. And it bothered me because we're friends. And I was like, why would she say that? It's not like I don't ask her all the details about her line, like what she did. I assume she's working hard on that, like I did with Shahida for literally 1 year. I didn't know anything about a fashion show. This is the truth. I did not. That was new to me. Totally clueless. I had to learn as I went along, and I hired a production team for that. But the clothing line, I've had stores for many years, and I had a clothing line with HSN. And I actually do know a little bit about that. And I did work really hard on my line and choosing the silhouettes and the prints and the look and the vibe. I wanted all of that and going back and forth. So it can get annoying when people talk like that.
Yeah. I guess I asked her into this too, and it was funny. Who would you most want to be quarantined with from your cast?
I mean, if I have to pick just one,
yeah,
I would pick Teddy.
Why?
Because we're the most similar, and we have little kids, and we like to work out, and we're both very easygoing. I mean, maybe some people wouldn't say that, but we, I think we're just the most similar, and there's less chance of clashing.
Got it. Okay. Conversely, who would you least like to be quarantined with?
Right now, today,
Mm-hmm.
I would least like to be quarantined with, I guess I'd have to go with Garcelle after her comments on Watch What Happens Live.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And I hear your sister makes an appearance on the show.
Oh, she does. Yes.
Was that something that you were into?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm always, listen, we've had a lot of problems over the year on the show together. That's very documented. But the fans love having my sister on the show. She has a big fan base back since she's a little girl. And she's always, funny. And she's one of those people that's funny, even if she doesn't know that she's being funny. She's like quirky and funny. And it's never dull when Kim's around. That's for sure.
Yeah. How has she been?
She's been good. I think it's a little bit hard for her in the quarantine. Like one day she was actually having anxiety, and it's funny because it's usually me with the anxiety, and I've actually been better than I expected to be, but she was having anxiety one day, and she's talked to me through it many times, so I had to talk her through it.
Is she quarantining alone right now?
She is, because
Yeah.
her son had left right before, and then she was nervous about him being on a plane, and her kids don't live at home anymore, and her daughter Brooke has 2 sons, so she's not able to. They just FaceTime. She FaceTimes with her daughters and son and her grandchildren.
Yeah. That would give me anxiety too, being quarantined completely alone. So that makes sense.
I know. Yeah, I think that would be very challenging for sure.
Yeah. Sutton, yeah, I know you mentioned earlier. Do you think she has what it takes? I know she was demoted to like friend of the Housewives.
She wasn't demoted because she's great on the show. It was actually it was an issue about how much she could show with her children and things like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, but she's great for the show. She has a great, quirky, fun personality. I loved her interview sound bites, as we call them. In the first episode, she was making me laugh. And I think she's a great addition to the show.
Very
She
cool.
just turned up the diamond because she was there throughout. She showed up all the time. Some people didn't show up. She really did show up every time. So
she just opened up about the fact that she's hoping to hold a diamond for next season. Do you personally think she has like the armor and like all this kind of the skills that you need to be that housewife and hold the diamond?
I think she does. I do think she does. I think the only reason was because of the when you're on the show, you have to open your entire life. And that's, everyone has to be on board for that. So there was some backstory to that. I don't know, but I know that it had nothing to do with her not being housewife material. That's not why she's not holding the diamond. And like I said, she showed up at everything, and she's funny, and she's got a big lifestyle. I mean, the amount of couture dresses and clothing this woman buys is out of control. She's so, when Dolce & Gabbana, is designing you crowns every year for your birthday, that's a pretty good sign that this woman's the real deal. But she's just fun and funny. It's a big adjustment. She's never been in front of the camera. And we will text each other, and like, oh my God, the comments. I'm like, you cannot look at Twitter. Twitter is like the most brutal thing you can do to yourself. It's just mean. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And I had this whole talk with her before the show aired about how it says more about them than it does about you, and you can't let it hurt your feelings, blah, blah. And then first day I was like, these people are so mean. I can't handle. I'm like, I'm not looking at Twitter. I can't take it.
So you'd want to see her join full-time next year?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Kyle, you were mentioning earlier about your anxiety. What are you doing or what practices have you implemented to kind of help you during this time with your anxiety? Because I feel like a lot of people are dealing with that right now and suffering. Anything that you can share?
Well, it's, a lot, everyone who knows me knows about my anxiety, and it's touched on a little bit on the show, and I joke about it a lot because for me, joking about it helps me to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I try to keep it a secret, that it would get worse and out of control. So I always talk about it. So people who know that I have anxiety call me and they're like, "Are you okay? I'm just checking on you. I know you have anxiety." And for me, part of it is, having some sort of control. So for me, staying home and having all my children, my husband in one safe space and not having anyone in and not having anyone leave makes me feel safe, and is the main way I can keep my anxiety under control.
Do you meditate at
Knowing
all?
I'm doing the right thing. Because otherwise I could just that one day going to CVS, honestly, I was like, my glove broke and I was like, oh my God. It's just not healthy for me.
Yeah.
So I do take medication for anxiety because about a year ago, I started having panic. I've taken medication for anxiety on and off throughout my life since I was 25. And about a year and a half ago, I started having like panic attacks, very bad. And at one point, my husband was like, "Do I need to call 911? Should I take the emergency room?" It was so bad.
Yeah.
So I started taking Lexapro. I take like the lowest dose possible, like 5 milligrams. But I have to. That helps me just to not have the panic attacks. But I have to like meditate. I have to work out every single day. Talk about it really helps me a lot. But yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder also just that like very intense lifestyle. And of course, this show amplifies everything. All of that adds to it. So have you noticed it be better during this time? Yeah. You said a little bit with having your kids in the house. That's helped, of course.
It's funny because it was definitely, it's been very good lately, which is, shocking considering, what's going on in the world. And then the show airs and it starts to sort of like, I can see it like rearing its ugly head.
Mm-hmm.
And that always happens to me. And I'm like, oh my God, why? Shooting the show, I can actually have fun, with the women, believe it or not. Yes, there's fighting, there's arguments, and I won't, get upset. But when we have fun, we have a lot of fun. But when the show airs, I always get anxiety, and it's just, it's really not great for me, but I still do it.
Yeah, well, that's when everything unfolds, when you see everything all together. The other thing you mentioned earlier that stuck with me was about Sutton and Dolce & Gabbana and all the couture clothing. When you think about how different life is going to be, how do you feel the whole Housewives franchise is going to be different? Like, are you changing your outlook at all on having all these fancy things? Like, do you want it less? Do you want it more? Do you want it the same? Has any of that changed for you?
For me, absolutely. It has. I think for everybody, everyone's going to be in saving mode and, nervous about, the future and the economy. And it really puts things in perspective. But I think that a lot of people are going to be making changes. And, when we started this show, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we were coming in right after the recession in 2008. And people were suffering. They didn't have money. They didn't have jobs. And it was really a situation because we would start talking. And, when we first did the interviews and we were new to the show, they'd say, like, how much did your party cost? And how much did you spend on that? And I was like, no one's ever asked me that. Like, I don't want to talk about that. That feels really weird. And, my mom always said, never talk about money. So I was like, you're being asked, you're like, is it my job? Do I have to say how much I spent on the party? Like, it just felt so weird. And we were all like, it doesn't feel right, with what's going on in the world. So we're kind of back in that same situation again, but in a different way, but very much the same. I think that it's going to have to change. You can't talk about, or, you don't want to go and spend and flaunt, and, it's in poor taste if you even have it to do, because people are suffering, and so I think you're going to see a lot of changes.
Yeah, I feel like that. And especially, I know you've gone through so much and, you had that awful robbery and such. So, I think those are always life-altering moments, but now this is like a collective life-altering moment. And when people look at you and the rest of the Housewives, you guys are the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, the opulence of all of that is something that is intriguing and exciting for the audience. And so That's why I asked, because it's like, will the show be as entertaining for people without the opulence? Will
Well,
it be missing?
people like to see that on the show. It's a lifestyle show, and they tune in to see the clothing and where we go and the cars and this and that. So it's going to be, I think it's something that has to be talked about and addressed in the show because it's happening in my real life. So if it's happening in my real life, I'm going to talk about it on the show. And my husband has said, listen, we have to be really smart. Like, we don't know what's happening in the world right now. So, I mean, am I going to be running out buying all this? No, I don't feel that in me at all right now. Yeah. And my husband, since our burglary, actually has never bought, he didn't replace his watches. I actually replaced one for him because it was an anniversary present. But, you really do change after those things. And
yeah.
So I think that, it's going to be something that we have to talk about and acknowledge. But, at the same time, be honest about how we live our lives too.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So Kyle and Shahida, tell me more about this line, and also kind of a testament to what you were saying. Like, you have to put a lot of work into something like this because you want to wear it. So you can't just slap your name on something.
Well, yeah. And the other thing that was, bothered me about that is that, after 10 years of being on the Housewives, there's so many people that have come to me and said, can we, work together, and we already have a line, you put your name on it, and I haven't done that yet. So I was like, okay, really? But I decided to partner with Shahida because I carried her line in my stores for many, many years, and I love it. And she's, she loves color and nature and animals like I do. So I wanted to do like a loungewear, clothes that you can wear out that are comfortable, but also at home and home entertaining, which is actually ideal for now. I collaborated with her and I said, look, here's the look I want to go for. And I know that you can do it because of the clothing that you already designed. So we just started coming together and we would go over like the prints and inspiration. And I would, say, this is the kind of cut I like, and I want this style. And I know, my friends who are tall and skinny like this, or my friends that are curvy and short like this. So it was over a year of going over the fabrics and this and that. So even though it's very hard to start a business in these times right now because our factory's in India and we had to stop that, we already had a lot of product here in the US. So I'm actually, happy because the website was doing really well, because I think, I've been wearing sweatpants every day when it was colder. And now, like today I have on, I'm going to show you, this is my line here. You can
I love it.
The beading on the back. Can you see?
So pretty.
So, and then, so you can wear them out, you can wear them at home, they're comfortable, and they're, they're not like a crazy price point. So I was really excited, to launch this line because it really represents who I am. I like to be comfortable, but look nice. So we'll see. It's just, it's hard, like I said, because our factory, but we luckily do have a lot of product here already.
Yeah. So it's all online?
It's all online, kyleshahida.com, kylexshahida.com. And I have the link in my bio. Yeah, so we'll see. People, the fashion show did really well. I was shocked. I didn't have any mean comments, and it was beautiful. It went off without any problems. The models looked amazing in the clothing. The Housewives did amazing. They brought a lot of attention to it. It was great. So it was just exciting. So,
that's awesome. I love it. I wore something in that vein where it's like that thin kind of material, but it's really like fashiony to a rehearsal for this show that I was hosting. And I loved it because it was like airy and comfy and pretty because the pattern was really cool. So I'm going to have to check it out.
I'm going to send you some.
Okay. I live so far away. I don't know how you're going to get it to me.
I know. Drive by and throw over your dates.
I'll be right over to catch it. Thank you. Yes, I would love to rock it. Kyle, last question for you. What are you doing every day right now to get better in any area of your life? It could be financial, health, wellness, whatever.
Well, right now, I'm trying to focus on two things, which every year I say I'm going to do this, but now I'm really doing it. I'm trying to get better focused on, my spending and being more aware and putting away, and, where I put my money, and, trying to be better about my spending. I used to be so nervous to see a bill that I had to put it on auto pay and not ever look at it, and just to try to be careful, because it gives me so much anxiety. I guess back to the days where, I couldn't, pay or stressed about it. So now I'm like, no, I need to be really aware and like put money away and be smart about that. So I've been really focused on trying to be good about that. I've actually not been doing that much shopping online, surprisingly, during this, because you just want to be comfortable anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going in the next 6 months. So, there's that. But also my health, my mom, my dad, and I had a lot of family members pass away from cancer. So each year when I make my New Year's resolution, it's always about taking my health to the next level. And I've been really good about that. Every single day, I start my day after I take care of all my animals, my kids. I get on the Peloton. I meet about 9 or 10 of us now on our Peloton group, and we get on the bike, and then I get on the floor. I do my 10-minute stomach thing, which I never did that before. We're in a group we call the Core Crushers. We have to put a little check mark that we did our stomach exercises for the day. So I'm hoping to come out of this situation healthier, even though I will be a little heavier. I'm not gonna lie, I've gained weight, but I'm still exercising and a little smarter about finances.
I love it. I love it. It's such a great kind of like multi-prong approach to making the best of this time. And you know what? A little extra weight is really good for the face.
Great for the face, not so great for the rest of the body.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, when you think about it, like, we can't go get Botox or anything. So you just, a little weight on the face will help everything.
I stopped doing Botox before I did the movie Halloween Kills, because I didn't want, as an actress, you can't not be able to make, use faces and scrunch up, whatever. So, but now I had to, haven't done it for 6 months now, and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, I really do appreciate that, but whatever. Now I know I can live without it. I did it before. I'll do it again, and who knows? Maybe I'll stop doing it.
I know. It's funny. Once you stop everything, you're like, well, did I really need all this stuff? Like I said, like the nails and the this and the that and the hair extensions and the whole scam. It's like,
I definitely don't feel as good, though, I have to say.
Really?
I look in the mirror, I'm like, I look tired. Like, it definitely helps you not feel like you look as tired in the morning.
I know. Nothing a good ponytail won't help.
Yeah, true. That is true. Exactly.
Every time I put a ponytail on, I'm like, my husband's like, you look like a little kid. And I'm like, yep, that's the magic of a ponytail.
People say, did you have a facelift? I'm like, oh my God, that is hilarious. It always gives me such a migraine, but I'm like, it really does the trick. It's like, there's even facelifts now called the ponytail facelift.
I know. Wait, I found a
That's where the ponytail goes.
I was just looking through the main feed on Instagram yesterday, and I found this doctor. Geez, what was his name? I'm going to look him up right now. Dr. Cow or something. He does the ponytail lift.
He's in Santa Monica?
No, he's in Beverly Hills. I'm going to find him because I just followed him yesterday. Oh wait, no, I don't know if you can find people that easily.
I love following those things because I'm always like, it's no secret I've had my nose done. I get Botox. I'm very honest. People always think I've done more than I have. Actually, my husband yesterday, we were like on an Instagram live with James Harris from $1 Million Listing LA. And he's like, I want to just clear something up. My wife has not done all these things people think she's done. I'm like, I do Botox. Yes, 100%. I had my nose done. No, I haven't had it done multiple times. If I highlight it or shade it, and it looks good one day, people are like, oh, you had your nose done. Do people think I'm getting my nose done in my backyard? And now I guess I had a facelift on the lawn.
Dead. So I found his name. His name is Cow Plastic Surgery. Dr. Chia Chi Cow.
And where is he located? Because I'm sure there's a guy in Santa Monica that I think does the ponytail facelift. I heard about this ponytail facelift guy.
Yeah, so he's the ponytail lift as seen on Oprah Prime. Vogue claims he is pushing the facelift forward. Anyway, I just saw him on the main feed and I saw these people with these ponytail lifts. People went there. His before and afters are unbelievable. They look like completely different people, but like in a good way.
Yeah, there's a couple people that I follow that I'm like, I just can't believe it. There's Ben Tali and then Dr. Giacono in New York. I'm like, I love looking at the before and afters. I also love the show Nip Tuck. I'm like, bring back Nip Tuck. I love that show.
I know. Well, maybe you need to be the one to bring it back.
Yeah, You never know. I mean, it's just fun for me. Like, I don't know. I like looking at that stuff because I see we see so much bad work in Los Angeles and people overdo it. And I'm not a fan of like that whole filler and over filled face type situation.
Yeah.
So I think you're better off not doing that and waiting one day if you want to get a face up and pull back. You're better off than just clumping up your face. But I like to look at all those pictures anyway.
I know. I feel like in the quarantine, I'll like take an Epsom salt bath and then I just go down the rabbit hole on Instagram and because I'll see one thing, then it sends me new things. So then I've been seeing like the threading that people are doing and that looks.
I did sugar thread with Nurse Jamie. Have you heard of Nurse Jamie?
Of course. Yeah. I've had her on the show before.
Oh, okay. So I went this season and we did, it was like, oh, I'm the biggest wimp when it comes to needles. Let me tell you, I mean, I had to go to hypnotherapy when I was younger for needles. And then I went later for flying. Needles freaked me out, but I did the sugar threads. I don't know.
Did you like it?
I mean, I don't like the way it feels doing it.
Okay, wait, how painful was it?
Well, I mean, some people say it wasn't a big deal, and then for me, it's a big deal. So I don't know. it's the idea I get in my head about it, and it freaks me out. But
how long did the pain last?
Oh, it's over immediately.
Oh, but then like I've heard people have headaches forever from it.
From sugar swings, I don't know. She did it like here and here, like 2 here and 2 here, like very little.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay, but
so
did you like the results?
I don't know why I went through your head.
Did you like the results?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I think so. And they're supposed to dissolve, and they're not bad for you. So, and it's just like right on the spot. So, I like to do no downtime lasers. I think that's the best thing you can do for your skin.
I'm such a baby about it. The second I see my face all burned, I'm throwing up in my mouth. You want to talk anxiety? I've done it a couple of times. It is awful.
See, I have not done that. My mother-in-law did that, and it really freaked me out seeing it. But I know people that have done it, and they, this would be a perfect time to have done something like this right before.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Dr. Orion does the Fractura, I think it's called. And Chris had told me about it. And so I went. She's like, your skin's going to be like baby skin. So I did it. And I was throwing up in my mouth for days after, because it's like your face is like blistered. And I'm like, please God, I would pray constantly. Please God, let it go away. Please let it get better.
I don't know if I could handle that. I mean, honestly, like if it's really a miracle, then maybe I would. But for now, I've done Limelight, and there's a couple other things that they just do and then you can go out to lunch after, no downtime, and they really make a difference. They get rid of brown spots, fine lines, and they tighten the face too.
I like those. I did the clear laser with the Dr. Diamond's thing. He does that like roller with the blood that he spins and whatever. I've done that.
I did that.
Yeah, that's no downtime, which is good.
Right, that's like the vampire facial, they call it?
Yeah, something like that. It's the diamond facial, diamond insta-facial.
Did you do it where they took your blood out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that once.
Yeah.
I thought that made a difference.
Yeah, I think, listen, they all make a difference, but I need one there's no downtime. Like I used to go to Nurse Jamie and she would do a bunch of different lasers on me and it was like perfect. I didn't have any problem after. I didn't have to have anxiety, but I get a lot of anxiety with that stuff too.
And she knows I do. And she's like, she'll go like this and she'll come in, she'll go like this with her hand. I'm like, what do you have in your hand? She's like, I know you get anxiety. I'm like, I can't handle, I really don't. I can't do it. But also it's like, that's the thing, like doing my job, there is no downtime. We actually have 1 month of the year where after the reunion, because right now we're doing press like this. I'm doing this all day long. I'm going to New York usually and do talk shows, blah, blah, blah. We have 1 month that I'm like, why do people think I'm doing all this stuff? Where do they think, like, I posted something yesterday and now today they think I had something done.
I know.
Do they do that to you too?
I haven't gotten that much, but you're in the limelight in a different way. Where
Housewives just have that reputation, so they automatically assume that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think, for us, the same thing. We were on TV 365 days a year. I'm on camera all the time, every single day. And so, yeah, it's interesting though. But I think there's such a curiosity to how everyone stays so youthful. And it's so hard for people to be truly honest, I feel like, because, you see certain celebrities, they're well into their 50s and they look like they're 20. And you're like, I know you're not just eating blueberries and having a lot of water. It's just not humanly possible.
So
Gravity is a real thing.
It's also so much of the altering the photos, which is like, okay, we all want to look good. I can understand it can feel horrible to put a little filter on it sometimes. But, because I have 4 daughters, I have such an issue with people going so overboard with, fully done head to toe, having all this stuff done. The pictures are so altered. I'm like, great, my kids are never going to think anybody gains weight.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gets a pimple. No one ever gets a line. Like, how am I going to how am I going to raise my children in this society like this?
Mm-hmm.
So, and listen, hey, I made an effort today because I don't want to, I want to look good, but sometimes I will go on Instagram and not have any makeup on. Other times I won't have makeup on, but I'll use a little filter, but I mean, within reason.
Yeah. It's a restrained version. Absolutely. I'll do the same thing. I'm like, well, maybe we could throw a little filter on this and make this look just a little bit better.
Subtle filter on Instagram, help a sister out.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So I feel like in this quarantine time, I've had time to look at people and I'm like, wait, how come all of a sudden their eyebrows are all the way up here? And so then I started seeing that people were doing the thread lift thing.
Wait, so that's what my friend keeps telling me, Kyle, I'm telling you, everyone's doing this eye-opening thing. I forgot what the word is for it, but she's showing me all these people that their eyebrows are here and now they're like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, but Botox do that? Can't just Botox lift up your eyebrows?
Botox does lift your eyebrows, yeah.
Right, but they're doing something different. I'm not exactly sure where it's opening this.
But how do they do that?
I don't know. That's why we have to all on Instagram and learn these things. But this is what happens these days.
I was literally dying. I'm like, I'm just getting to finally have a conversation with somebody about this.
I know. It's so hard. I mean, this just happened to me doing live with Kelly and Ryan. I was like full on panic mode while they sat there with me trying to figure out how to connect these. And they were like, and I was like, ah!
I love it. Okay, wait, so let me tell you. So it's this place called Snatched LA or something where they are doing kind of like it's like the Kendall Jenner supermodel where the eyebrows are really straight. Like people are liking that.
Not a surgery is what you're telling me?
No, it's these threads that they put there and they lift you. I just don't understand how it works and how they make it even.
Then literally obsessed with telling me these things. So now I'm going to tell her Snatched in LA. Okay, so here's another thing. Have you heard about this that people are doing?
What?
This is really brutal to me, but I'm seeing it everywhere. And now I think that's why I got really intrigued and had to start following people. Have you heard of a lip lift?
Wait, I think this guy does it, but tell me what.
I don't have this issue. Well, not anymore since I have my nose done, but people who have too much space here.
Okay.
I guess older, this drops.
It drops, yeah.
And then they get it closer to your nose, but it also gives it a lifted up look. If I did it, I can imagine what I would look like. Hi, season 11.
Oh no, this is how I joke with Kevin when I'm like, I'm gonna get my lips filled. I go like this. And he's like, please, when can you get your lips injected and your face injected? And we just joke about it all day long.
I mean, but the lip lift, that seems like, and then I've seen some people do it and I can see a scar right there.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it's supposed to heal. I don't know, but I think it makes them look way younger. Like almost every plastic surgeon now is doing that with the facelift.
Well, yeah, because I had Dr. Diamond on the show and he was talking about how if your lip is hanging too low and you can't see your upper teeth, that means that gravity has just dropped it too low and you need to lift it up because that's a sign of elderly aging.
There's too many things that I have to learn about.
I know, but it's been fascinating. So microblading, have you ever microbladed?
My eyebrows?
Yeah.
No, I have really bushy eyebrows,
so people so I've been looking at people's, and again, like you said, it's the filters that everyone's using. You can have makeup on without having makeup on now.
I know. My friend sent me a picture. She's like, I didn't wear makeup. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, oh, I just put it on with a filter. I'm like,
yeah. No, and Kyle, everyone looks like a supermodel now. So, you have
to have a special, you have to download something for that. That's not on my regular.
Yeah, no, it's called FaceApp. And it has all different types of makeup you can put on yourself.
Can you imagine we don't ever have to wear makeup again?
Yeah, no, I've been really contemplating this, to be honest. But you'll see these girls and all of a sudden they look like supermodels and their eyebrows are pushed up and they've got these perfect eyebrows. And you're like, what are they doing? So I think it's a combination of that thread lift and microblading. Because like my eyebrows are big and bushy, but like one is a little more screwed up than the other. So they're not like, 100% even in the front, like corners.
You know what it makes me think about when I see all of the stuff that are just, it's like endless what people can do and are doing these days is the old fashioned, old time, I should say, movie stars who didn't have any of this stuff. Like, and they were so beautiful. Like it gives you even more appreciation for those people. Like, wow, like Ava Gardner and, people like that. Raquel Welch, like, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. And they didn't even have access to any of these things.
I know. Well, now you see people completely transformed with fillers and Botox, and they're a completely new person than what they were before. And listen, everybody has, the right to do whatever they want. And, if I didn't get what I really wanted in my life, I would have made adjustments probably too. But it's interesting to see the supermodels of back then, back in the day and the supermodels of now.
I know they have the thinner lips and, flat butts. But what's weird to me is when people start all looking alike.
Yes.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Where you're like, all these people look the same. So they're going to the same people asking to get, look like so-and-so. I want to look like so-and-so. Well, great. Now you do. Now you all look like a bunch of clones.
Yeah.
But, that really freaks me out.
Yeah, the clones. It's so funny.
You know what I think is interesting that I've been seeing in the quarantine? I like seeing people more, downplayed and like, I was like, should I just like not wear any makeup in these interviews? But then someone was like, yeah, people like to see the people looking nice. I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, it'd be kind of fun to do like these, morning like talk shows and stuff, just like in our robe and, not having all that makeup on. I like seeing people like that.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I feel like it's almost like I was thinking about it yesterday, like in our country, right? We used to have a middle class. We don't really anymore, right? It's like rich and poor. It's like two extremes. And the same thing I think with kind of like looks, it's all gone extreme. You either are totally natural like a Jennifer Aniston, or you're totally extreme the other way and you've gotten everything done.
Yeah, I know. I when I see people on, online that haven't done anything, I really have so much respect for them. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like I look better just not having the crow's feet and, the frowny things, but it makes me feel better. But when I look at people who don't do one thing, like I follow Paulina Poroskova. Do you follow her on Instagram?
I don't, but I remember and I loved her.
She's probably the most beautiful woman maybe that ever lived. And I mean, when I was younger, she was the biggest model there ever was. And she's so gorgeous. She doesn't do anything. And she's very proud to say she doesn't do anything. I think she said she's 55 on her Instagram.
Wow.
People like that just
own their face.
Yeah. And she's not afraid to show herself, with her, her hair all messed up. And I really love that because it's real. And I wish there was more of that. So even people like me didn't feel like they needed to get Botox.
I know.
But I don't know. It's just refreshing.
Yeah, no, she's gorgeous. And you can see, when she does herself up, you remember Paulina Poroskova. Like,
oh my God, so gorgeous.
Yeah. What a fun chat. I love talking to you. This is so cool.
I'm going to get you some Kyle and Shahida stuff and throw it over your gate, okay?
Please. I appreciate it. Small on top, medium on bottom. Thank you.
Okay.
We need a little extra room because of the dark chocolate and I've gone back to Eggo waffles.
Yes, I get it.
I've gone back to Eggo waffles. It's terrible. Eggo waffles with the butter and the Betty Crocker syrup, and it's bad times. All right, Kyle, thank you so much. If you guys want to keep up with her, of course, you can follow her on Instagram at Kyle Richards 18.
Yep.
Perfect. And on Twitter?
Richards 18.
What is it?
My TikTok is also Kyle Richards 18.
Okay, perfect. Every Thursday, we are going to look forward to your family dance. And then on mean Twitter, at Kyle Richards.
On mean Twitter, don't tweet me mean things.
I know. Kyle, thank you so much. I'll see you around.
See you and tune into The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Wednesdays on Bravo at 8 o'clock.
Thank you so much. Mwah. Good to see you.
Bye. Take care.
All right, guys. That was Kyle Richards, of course. Really fun conversation. Yeah, this Thursday, we have Tony Robbins, who will be on the show. I'm very, very excited about that because he is my teacher. I've learned so much from, and he's going to be on the show to help all of us with his tips and tricks and techniques to better us in every way. I hear, Jeff, you're working on some great giveaways.
Yeah, I'm in touch with their team, and it sounds like there's some things in the works. So we'll let you guys know how best to help us with that. We're going to kind of engage our audience to figure out how to get these giveaways out to you. It's going to involve social, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow on the show. So make sure you tune in so we can get you updates. But yeah, I mean, what an amazing guest to have, and how great for our audience.
Yeah, it was really fun all around. All right, guys. Well, in the meantime, you can follow us at Maria Menounos, at Stephen Lemieux Photo, at Jeff Crane Graham. And remember, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.